Hello, today I'm going to talk about a rare character that almost everybody uses at some point in their account if you make it towards the end game of an account, and is a rare that is valued as almost as much as a legendary. I am, of course, talking about the character who dies very often, so I pair it with the revive, Coldheart. I have two of them here. Now, the reason I'm talking about Coldheart today is one, because it's the Fire Knight tournament, and I have geared two Coldhearts recently, but two, because I also pulled Trunda recently, and I've been messing around with Spider as well, and I've kind of had a resurgence of some Coldheart use over the last week. And so for that reason, she has been on my mind. I've been using a few of them in a few different rows, and I thought today is going to be a pretty good day to kind of break down and talk about Coldheart. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is I'm going to cover masteries, the different variety of masteries you may do. I'm going to cover where she is good, where I would recommend using her, as well as I would recommend not using her, right? And I'll recommend some gear sets, things like that, some different styles. There's a few different gear sets you can build, and there's a few different ways you can build her depending if you have like a revive or not. You may want like either an attack chest or like a HP chest, if you don't have a revive, etc., etc. So we're going to go through kind of all of those here and break it down for you. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so we're going to talk about Coldheart here. Basic attack hits for 4 times, 100% healing reduction, really good in Fire Knight. AoE with a chance of decreased accuracy, and will place a poison if they're under the healing reduction from the basic or from somebody else. And then this right here is the big winner: 30% extra chance to crit, and when it does hit on them, decreases turn meter by 100%, as well as the damage increases according to enemy's max HP. So that means on things like Spider, you can hit like over 2 million damage, for instance. And that is really why people use this character, is because she decreases the turn meter by 100% while nuking the character, and really makes things like Spider very, very enjoyable, which I'll show you later. Now, as far as the artifacts go, you tend to want to run high attack with high critical damage and at least 70% critical rate. And remember, you get 30% from her third move, and that's really the one you need to crit, so 70% is fine. And then just to focus on critical damage and accuracy, that way the turn meter reduction will happen. She is a void character, so she can never hit weak. So for that, as long as you have accuracy, you should get the turn meter reduction. No problem. Okay, now I have an HP chest on there just so she doesn't die in the waves. They do like to focus on her, and she can die over and over and over again. I have speed boots on her, so that way she can kind of go quick enough to get the Heartseeker off. But besides that, you can run her in Savage sets. You can run her in critical chance. You can run her in critical damage. Whatever it is you really have that you can get the most damage out of, there is a variety of ways of doing it. I have seen people with nice sets of Savage gear going out there and ripping it up and hitting even bigger than me on my cruel plus critical damage gear. So, depending on what you have, mix it up there. I do use a critical damage necklace. I use an accuracy banner, and then I try to focus on attack for the ring. Masteries are here. Focus mainly on like the first hits, because I use her in like Spider with the Heartseeker, right? And then this is for like accuracy and the bonus for the set. So like critical damage does more, etc. right here. So these are the masteries I use. You can also, if you look at these ones here, you can also go this way with it, is another way too, which you go down here and then you go down here, okay? And it's the critical damage right below me right here. I take on the far right side on both of them. This is another build you can do as well. So I have 2 different ways of doing it. And her gear is just kind of a focus on as much critical damage as I could get as well with my secondary set of gear. So let me show you how I've been using her in some other dungeons as well. You can use her in the Spider. You can use her in Ice Golem. You can use her basically anywhere that you really need to. That needs a boss to either have the turn meter reduced like Spider or to have a large-scale nuke. So Ice Golem's a good example, because if you manage to get Heartseeker onto the Ice Golem, either you're playing manually or you're targeting it or something, that huge nuke can save you like 45 seconds or something on the run, because he has a ton of HP. Same deal with this thing, right? Like, instead of having to go round after round decreasing the turn meter, CCing or whatever, you can just nuke it down. I am using this kind of combo with Trunda and Torment, which I just pulled Trunda, so I'm kind of like messing around with it. It's the first real HP burn I've had, and it's been a lot of fun. But because of that, it's giving me round after round to really sit here and examine the Coldheart and see how good this character is of slowly whittling down, just whittling down the Spider. And without Coldheart, I realized a lot of the game would really be significantly harder because Royal Guard doesn't decrease turn meter with his AoE, only with the hamstring, right? And so you can't get the 100% decrease from the Spider. And because of that, if you only had Royal Guards, you would have to have like a lot of Royal Guards in a row and just to nuke it down. It would make the requirements a lot harder. Coldheart's also pretty easy to book because it's a rare, right? So you can just use your rare books on it. And for that reason, it makes it pretty useful as well. I'm just kind of like talking about it because I just want you to see how this run goes. It's pretty fun to watch Tormund and an HP burn kind of do their thing here, you know? Just slowly burn themselves down. Tormund's just whacking for 2,000 damage at a time. Should probably put War Master on and make this a lot easier. But I use him in my arena too much, you know? There he goes. And any second now, Coldheart should put the final word in here any moment now. They're going to take a million turns. That HP burn combo is kind of busted, though. And there it is. 1.4 million. Coldheart takes a bow. So, and she did 2.6. Royal Guard did 1.6. So, you know, you can use her there, right? With that kind of combination, use Ultimate Gaelic or something with your Tormund. Or if you don't have that, you know, you could run CC or whatever, use it there. And you can use her in places like Dragon 2. I'll just show you, like, I'll build a random team here so you can kind of see. So if let's use a couple of them, right? So let's put in one of these people. Let's do a couple Coldhearts and then Arbiter the Resum. And then we need something to help us get through the waves, right? So like, what? A Skull Crown? Okay. And now you can see. You can use them basically anywhere if you have a couple of them too. So if you pull multiple Coldhearts, you don't have to be shy about building just 2 or 3 of them up. I think I have like 10 of these things still sitting in the vault just because I don't want to crunch them. I feel bad. I've built 3 of them out by now, and I've never really actually had a use for 3. I think 2 is probably the ideal amount. I have used 2 extensively. I've used it in Spider. I've used it in Ice Golem. I've used it in Fire Knight. I guess I'm kind of using it here in Dragon to demonstrate, but I haven't think I've ever found a use for 3 that didn't really feel like me doing it just so I could say I did it with 3 Coldhearts, you know? So if you do get multiple of them, maybe just start with 1. Later on, build 2 if you really feel the need. But if you get Royal Guard or something, I'd rather have like 1 Coldheart and a Royal Guard build out than like 2 Coldhearts, because Royal Guard kind of fills a different row where he can nuke these waves. That's something else the Coldheart's kind of like a bummer at, is the waves or the wave nuking is kind of questionable with her. The Art of Pain that she does the AoE, if you have good gear on her, they have weak and defense down, you can have like 20 to 40k, maybe 50k in the high end, but that's not really a high-end, and my cat's trying to get up in this video. That's not really a high-end nuke. You know, like Rays can hit 100k, Skull Crown's 100k, so these 20, 30k, it's not, you don't pick her for the wave clear. She actually slows the wave clear down. You do pick her for this here at the end when she, almost one-shots this dragon down, right? So you can kind of get an idea of where she's really useful, definitely in situations like this, but not so much in the waves. The other problem you might run into with her is getting the timing right. Like a lot of times she'll use her Heartseeker just on the last guy alive. So you can Heartseek her out and then you'll get to the boss and then like she'll die from the boss attacking and then the cooldown doesn't come back up. So you have to wait so long. So even though that one was like a minute 52, it could vary all the way to like 4 minutes because of the Heartseeker RNG. For that reason, I really like to pair her with a good, strong AoE wave clear. It seems very necessary in my personal opinion. This character is not really a PvP character. I mean, we could use her for, just a joke or something. And if you don't have any other character early on, you could use her for the little bit of AoE. But you can see, even against these weak characters with what I would consider strongly geared Coldhearts, they do not do significant damage. So she's not really an arena PvP character. Those characters, unless it's like Mountain King, doesn't really have 1 billion health, so you're not really scaling off their max HP that much. So she doesn't do a lot of damage. So don't really worry about her there. You're going to want to build her for PvE. Like I've demonstrated with my Unkillable team in a previous video, I'm just going to leave it in because you guys will probably like that one. In a previous video, I demonstrated with the Coldheart and the Unkillable team that poisons do in fact do more damage per turns than Coldhearts. Even if the Coldheart could use her max damage move every single turn, the poisons will still do more damage. And for that reason, Coldheart isn't particularly good in Clan Boss either. Maybe only in the beginning of a count if you build her differently. And by what I mean by differently is tanky enough that she's not going to die if you don't have some kind of revive. And then the masteries, instead, you're probably going to want the Giant Slayer mastery so that the 4-hit on basic paired with some counterattack will, do more damage that way, plus the 5% poison if you can get the healing reduction. But that's another problem. She puts healing reduction, which means it's going to eat up yet another spot, for a poison, unless you have like a Skull Crusher counterattack who does healing reduction anyway. But, this is getting like way into theory crafting for some character that's really not meant for clan bossing anyway. So just don't really worry about her there either. She's mostly going to be found in your dungeon teams, helping you out when it comes to a really easy nuking of the boss. That's kind of what it comes down to. She'll, nuke down a single target like she does here, and that kind of can help you get through some of the tankier waves, I suppose, but she's not really that great for the waves. But once you get to the boss, that's where she's going to shine. So for the most part, she gets the thumbs up in Dragon, and Ice Golem, and Fire Knight, and Spider, the Potion Dungeons, basically anywhere that isn't PvP in the clan boss. She can, in fact, be a staple. Some of the cons can be she can die consistently like you're seeing here, and that can be really annoying. So you do want to kind of pair her with some kind of AoE res, can definitely be beneficial. If you don't have an HP chest on her, she's just prepare for her to die like she's getting machine gunned down over and over and over again, and it will drive you absolutely crazy. That being said, she's a phenomenal character. It's a complete staple. If you get the character, you should max her out. I get the question all the time of what should my next 6-star be, and I would say 9 out of 10 times when I look in someone's account and they only have rares or epics, they'll have like a Coldheart or a Royal Guard sitting there that they have not paid attention to, and I'll be like, work on your Coldheart or your Royal Guard here. So let's cut the footage before this team fails, and then we'll go ahead and move on to some final points here at the end. So in conclusion, Coldheart, if you get her, staple character, go ahead, max her out. It's not going to be a mistake. Definitely worth using your books on because it's a void character, and building multiple of her is within question. So don't crunch them as chickens. Maybe hang on to a few of them. There you go. Yeah, people have asked me if Relentless Gear is good on her. Now, any other questions? Leave them in the comments. Do my best to answer them. Please subscribe if you want more guides. I'm doing my best to get daily or multiple times per daily content out for you. And we got like 700 subs off that last video. So thanks, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. If we get I'll tell you what, I'll announce it on this video because no one's going to see this video, so you can't hold me to it. If we make it to 100,000 subs this year, I will get a Darth Microtransaction like well pod tattoo or something. All right, I'll get a real tattoo. All right, there you guys go. All right, bye-bye.